into the Q&A, but I was on a call today with Brigitte Linford's team, and she actually brought on a life coach from the John C. Maxwell group. So there were some things that he said that really hit home to me, and I wanted to share with my team because I kind of see the same patterns that he was talking about with my team. And not only that, something that they can take forward to their teams in the future. I know Eric and I just had a Coach Basics call, and I kind of went over the same thing. So I just want to hit home on a few things. Pretty much what the breakdown of the call was he was saying that you guys want to protect momentum at all costs, okay? Some of you have seen some huge growth in your business, but then you've also seen what happens when you take your foot off the pedal. Okay, so that's what we're going to try to avoid in the future, and not just you guys, because I've done it in the last year myself. I had a strong 10 months, and then I took my foot off the gas, and it was a standstill, right? I never had any further growth, and it's because I lost my momentum. And we all know when we start pushing that wheel, it's hard, right? But when we get going, it's just a tap. And it just keeps going faster and faster and faster. That's the big mo, right? So a couple of things you need to do. You have to make the decision to make it happen. You have to make the decision to show up every day. You have to have a plan, and you all have to have a desire for something better. Okay. So how to build momentum? 3 things we need to do to build momentum. So number 1, we want to show up every day, right? How many times have you told yourself, I don't have time to work my business? Okay, by a show of hands, how many of you have done that? I know I've done it sometimes. I work 2 jobs on top of Beachbody coaching, and I've said it to myself. I can't seem to find the motivation. How many of you have said that? I know I have. How many people have said this to themselves? Only certain people like rock stars can be successful in this business. I've said it. In the beginning, I said it. I don't say it anymore because I think anybody can do it. But the truth of the matter is, there's nothing special about me. There's nothing special about Jaime or Kim or Eric. There's no trick to be successful. We're successful because we show up every day and we create our own motivation at the end of the day. Okay? So this is going to be a little bit of tough love. This isn't pointing anybody out. Again, this was just from the call that I was on today, and I took some notes, but it really hit home. Bottom line is, if you're not willing to show up every day and do the things you need to do, ask yourself, do you really love your family? Okay, that is the tough love. Okay, I ask because I'm not saying everybody, again, this was from the call. I ask because most of you will not do the one hour the 1 power hour to give your family and your kids the life that they deserve. Okay, you all hear Scotty Hobbs talking about living a life by design, and Lindsay Matway living life by design, and even I've said it, but after this call I've kind of changed that. I've changed my thought about it, and it was really eye-opening to me because I want to live a life by design, but that's not really what I'm doing. I want to make sure my kids live a life by design. Okay. We all know, let's say Shai's 2 now. So in 16 years, Shai's going to be going to college. And by the time that time comes, tuition's going to be like $200,000, $300,000 for her to go to college. Right. I want to make sure I can give her the choices in life for her to be, whatever she wants to be. I want her to live her dreams to the fullest, and I don't want money to be a financial struggle for her when she hits that age. So I'm going to do everything I can do now so they can live a life by design by the time they're 50. Okay, so ask yourself this: what does my family deserve when you're going through the struggles? Does my family deserve that 1 hour, that 1 power hour? Right? Does that mean you go to sleep maybe a half an hour later at night? Then maybe that's what you do. Okay. When we're doing our business, we get lost in all the,
I could see mom liking it.
There can be so much that we can do in this business. We can do videos, we can do websites, post on 5 or 6 different platforms, right? But at the end of the day, there's really one thing that grows your business, and that's inviting. That's talking to people, getting out of your comfort zone, and creating relationships with people, and really talking about what we do and how we can help transform lives. But you got to get out there and talk to people, okay? What he said on the call today, and it really hit home, is we can spend hours on a post, creating a post, finding that perfect picture, whatever it may be. But really, at the end of the day, no one cares what colors you're using in your posts. No one cares about the pictures that you're using, right? It really comes down to you just going to talk to people and creating those relationships. Your business is not based on your posts. Your business is not based on your websites. Okay, your business is based on actually talking to people. And 8 out of 10 coaches are not doing that proper behavior, right? You'd be surprised. Actually, I'm not even surprised, because with 400,000 coaches we have in this company, there's a select few that hit diamond. Like it's 10%, I think, right now. And then like 5% or even less than that are hitting star diamond, right? Because they get to, if they do hit diamond, they take their foot off the pedal and they lose their momentum. Right? So you never see a lot of coaches hitting that star diamond because they think diamond's it, right? How hard is it, guys? How hard is it to ask someone to join your next challenge group? It's like Eric said, Miguel said it the other day. Asking someone to join your challenge group is not hard. Living in a third world country is hard. Sending a little invite and sharing what we're doing and talking to people and inviting them to your next challenge group, that's not hard. The only thing on your mind is you're afraid of the rejection. You're scared of being told no. You are scared of being ignored, and you are scared of someone saying something bad about you. Let me tell you something right now. In the last 1.5 years, 2 years that I've invited over thousands of people, and I'm sure Jaime and Kim, who have invited way more than that, can tell you, you don't get that many negative responses, okay? You might get a no. You might get a no answer, but it's not very often that someone will come out and just totally hate you because you sent them an invite to change their life, okay? If you are afraid of that stuff, guys, and again, this is coming from this call today, what he said was, you care more about what people on Facebook and Instagram think than what your family thinks of you. Because at the end of the day, this is what we're doing. We're growing ourselves so we can better our future for our families. And really, those no's and no answers really don't, to me, they don't bother me anymore. In the beginning, they did. Some of the new coaches that start up, they're afraid of it. But once you get started, you guys will see past that. If you have the desire to help people, you should never worry about what people think of you. You have a family to take care of, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if people hate your guts. Your family deserves it. People are going to hate you no matter what you do. It doesn't matter if you're doing Beachbody or if you're selling Sensi or anything like that. It doesn't matter. Haters are going to hate. So at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, do you love your family enough to give them the life that they deserve? Are you willing to work at it? Because people get all gung-ho and get all started in this business, and then they realize how much work it is. They realize, oh, it's not just handed to me. I actually have to do something, right? But that's because they're not following a passion. Every coach on this team right now that is on this call, you guys have been on the calls for over 6 months for the most of you. It's a passion for you guys, right? It's a bigger picture, and every one of us, me included, have gone through some huge struggles to get where we are today, but we're still here. We're still here showing up every day because we love what we do. We love helping people, and honestly, we know that our love for our families is bigger than a no, right? Or a no response. I love my family. I'll do whatever it takes, and I always have. and I will strive to become even better for them. I want them to live the life of their dreams. It's not just me living the life of my dreams. I'm doing it for my family to live the life of their dreams. So what's the next step? So you want to do the right things, and you want to surround yourself with the right people. You cannot chase your dreams if you don't surround yourself with the people that want to settle in life. Surround yourself with uphill thinking people that will have uphill actions. Actions lead us to results. Do not surround yourself with downhill thinkers. Downhill thinkers don't move forward at all. So think of it this way. In what's easier, going downhill on a slide or to climb uphill? Okay, downhill riders will take you out going down the hill. Uphill climbers will reach their hand out so they can help you up as well. And I've really seen that in Beachbody, and I'm seeing it today because Jaime and Kim, they don't know me very well. We've only talked a few times, but I reached out and I asked, and they've accepted, and now today they're going to share some answers to some of your questions, because Beachbody is about helping each other. Beachbody is not about an individual. We want everybody to succeed in this business, and the people that are going to succeed are the people that surround each other with like-minded people. So I'm proud to say we have Kim and Jaime on our call. So I'm going to do a little introduction. If you guys don't know, I'm sure the numbers might have changed by now because the guy keeps blowing up. Every day, everything I see, every day I turn around, he's got a new diamond or something going on. But as for what I know right now, Jaime is a 7-star diamond, premier coach, top 10 2016 coach, top-ranked male coach, 800 Success Club points in the first 10 months, guys. And his beautiful wife, Kim, 4-star qualifying, Success Club 10 All-Star, 15th in Canada, and 77th in the company. And today they get to, they have said yes to answering your questions. You guys have some questions of your own that you want to ask, and it's really going to be a team thing. I'm not just going to ask the questions for you. I want you to get involved in the call. So you guys can ask them first, and I'll kind of go down the aisle if that works for Jaime and Kim. So Benita, if you want to start off, one question at a time, if you got a couple.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Okay. So my first question was, when you started building your businesses, did you both have full-time jobs? And if so, how did you juggle everything and manage your time? And the reason why I ask this is because I am a full-time busy lender in a member contact center for a credit union. And then I bookkeep on the side plus build the business. So I'm a busy, busy girl.
Okay. Do you want to start?
You
do you want
go.
me to start? Okay, so I'll start quickly. So when when we started this in February 2015, I was working in the corporate world and was very, very busy. I like you, Benita, had a very full life. I was working probably 50 to 70 hours a week and traveling a ton, not home a lot, which was really hard on our family. And Jaime also travels too, and he can talk about that a little bit. And I had no time. I had no time to coach. I had no time to be a part of this. This was Jamie's thing. That was great. He signed up. I've been on Shakeology for 4 years at that point and had done every program. So we already loved the products. We were totally invested in them.
I was that husband
What?
who was like, what are you ordering this stuff for? It's freaking expensive.
Do you know that I would lie? He'd say to me, and I don't lie, but I did. He'd say, you canceled that. I'm like, I totally canceled it. And then it was like 2 weeks later, it would show up. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. But I was addicted to it. So loved the product, was totally supportive of him as a coach. He was signing me up. And what happened is that within that first month or 2 months, I started bringing home, this is what we called it, I'd be bringing home challengers and coaches. And I was like, oh, I have another one for us, and what I realized is that I thought I was so busy, right? I thought I was so busy being busy, but that busy was Grey's Anatomy. That busy was surfing my newsfeed on Facebook. That busy was everything other than I could have been doing because I just was procrastinating through my day, because sometimes when we're so busy, we also don't know how to manage our time, right? So that was hard for me at first too, until I realized that I needed a process. I needed a system in place. Jaime, I retired from my corporate job in June. So I now work 2 days a week, and we're pretty blessed. We've replaced my income. And it's been great. And now I'm working 2 days a week on a contract till March 31st when I'm going full-time Beachbody. So, but let me say to you, I probably work 8 to 10 hours on the business every day. So, and I did that too when I was working. So my posts were on my pee breaks. I was really organized, and I had to be able to know what I was posting because I was in meetings for 10 hours a day or on a plane or traveling. So you have to be organized. You have to know what you're doing. You've got to be really, really, planned and prescriptive with your posts, and being consistent and being a resource and being real. And that's what helped me in my busy, busy days, was being organized. So I knew when I was going to post. I knew what I was going to post. Like lunchtime was my jam. I was like, salads, like whatever your thing is. And I knew I would post a quote. You just have to get in your groove so people know what to expect from you. And that's how I found it successful, working a really crazy, busy job.
Yeah, this is how I've always described this business and I'm still doing my full-time job. It's funny, I was talking about this with someone today. They're like, why haven't you quit your job? And part of it is because and maybe I'm getting off track here, but we still invest a lot of our money back in the business. We invest a lot back into our coaches, our traveling. We try to get to every event possible because we believe in them. So although our income, I could probably, pack in the full-time job. It's nice to have that now because we're fortunate we don't necessarily need that Beachbody income right now, but we're sinking a ton of that back into the business, into our coaches, into trips, all that stuff. And here's what I wanted to say originally is that you need to view your time as so valuable that every minute, and this is how I view it, and we have 2 young kids. Like, if you have children, you know what it's like. Like, they're time suckers, right? We love them,
Beautiful time suckers.
Beautiful time suckers. But you need to take every minute you get, and you have to, pardon my language, but you have to squeeze the shit out of that minute. Like, you have to squeeze every minute that you have to pour that into your bit. If you want this, we all have different goals. We all have different stuff we want. Some of you may just want to pay for your Shakeology every month. For us, we know what we want this to turn into. We know where we want to be in 3 years. I view every minute of the day as so valuable. I just squeeze every minute out that I can. I'm doing something. And it really boils down to what you're willing to sacrifice. That's really what this all boils down to. And we all have a different, I use this terminology all the time. We all have a different definition of what hard work is. We all have a different definition, all of us. What you think was really hard work and is busy, and I'm not speaking to you in general, but like what you consider busy and hard work, I may think that's way off base. And that's really what it boils down to is, what do you spend that time that you have to yourself, that you can actually choose to do any activity? You have to be kind of real with yourself. What are you choosing to do in that time? Because it's really easy to go turn on the TV. I still do it every now and then I want to slap myself in the face and go, you could be working on your business otherwise.
I don't remember the last time I watched a TV show.
Yeah.
I'm pretty dedicated. I spend 3 hours a day so far.
Yeah, and so and I believe in power hours. I think they're incredibly important to get through the basic level tasks of what you need to do to run this business. Do I think you can be successful at hitting Success Club 5 and 10 and putting in 2 or 3 hours a day? Absolutely. A ton of coaches have done it. Like Jennifer Greenberg, I think hit Success Club 5 like 3 times her first year, and she's $1 million. Like Scotty Hobbs, he's built his business on hitting Success Club 10. I think it's going to take you a lot longer to get there. That's not a bad thing, but I totally think it's, hold on. Our computer wants to do updates. One sec. but it's really about your level of sacrifice and what you've determined as where you want to go in this business. So yeah, we have full-time jobs. We both still have jobs. We obviously have to spend time with our children, and we value that time, you know, but, and I feel bad. Like Sean reaches out to us, hey, can you do a team call? And I would love to do a full presentation with slides for you. We literally, because we get asked now a lot to do calls, we literally don't have time to do full presentations for teams. We just don't. Because we value that time so much to build our business. And so it's just, you got to squeeze those minutes out, boy, if you want this. And like Sean said before, you got to love this. You got to really have a passion for this, or it's going to get old real fast. So I hope we answered your question. Sorry, Betty.
My second question was, how do you manage to keep your team engaged and working hard, even when they don't see the progress that they're looking for?
You know, I listened to Megan, Eggleston's call, wake up call today. And it's interesting you say that. I think that progress is in the eye of the beholder. And it all depends on what you're looking to do. So if you're looking to inspire someone, if you're looking to motivate someone, and you are doing the vital behaviors, and you are posting, and you are reaching out, and you are doing the best you can, and people aren't ready, that doesn't mean you're failing. That means you're still working the business. And it is a real mind shift to understand that. We are in a business to help people and to inspire people. And the more we think of people, not points, the better we'll be. The more we think of people, not money, the more it will come. And the more you be true to who you are, and you be authentic to who you are. And like Jaime just said, you need to really love this, because this is a lifestyle. This is your brand. This is not just this fad. So I don't know if that answered your question, but it is a mindset. It is absolutely a mindset. And as coaches, as leaders, we need to be sharing that and modeling that and showing up every day and having that consistent message, because life is hard. And there are a lot of juggling glass balls. I use that analogy. You know, you're juggling glass balls constantly, trying to not let them break and shatter. But you know what? Sometimes you got to let one drop, and that's okay. And same analogy with people. If they're not ready, we are not in the business to push sales. It's about people are ready for this journey.
I think the first thing I actually tell new coaches when they sign up and we have a GSR call with them, the first thing I say to them is, listen, this is a really great business, but you're going to be completely overwhelmed the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like you're going to feel the first probably 2 to 4 weeks, you're probably going to want to quit at some point. And that's okay. That's normal. 2 weeks into this, I said to Kim, I'm getting way too many notifications on Facebook. I don't know if I want to go through with this. Like, it was overwhelming to me. I almost quit. Literally said, Kim, I don't know if this is for me.
Mm-hmm.
So we set that tone right away with our team. It's like, you're going to be overwhelmed, and that's normal and okay. Expect that. That's a normal emotion to feel. And so I think by setting that tone, and we tell it, like, and I think our posts reflect this, like, this is hard work, so to speak. You have to put in a lot of time, like Sean, and I'm the first one to say sometimes when I speak, I'm like, listen, like, you know, going through chemotherapy is hard work. You know, fighting in a war is hard work. Let's have some perspective on what we're doing. But at the same time, you know, in our own world here, it's hard to do this and get a lot of no's and keep going with rejection, not hit Success Club your first 3 months. It's hard to continue after that. It's hard with all this information coming in at the start to keep going and want to battle through that, maybe without seeing some of those early successes. So it's really hard to talk about team culture, but I think that's one of the things for our team is we really make a point to tell everyone that, like, you have to show up to this. You have to show up, and you have to be an active member of this team, or the whole team's going to crumble. Like, you have to be an important part of that cog in the wheel. And so I think we try to treat everyone like they're just as important as the 5-star diamond on our team. Would you not say culture is one of our biggest assets?
I would say so. Absolutely, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think we model, right? We model, we're servant leaders, and we show up, and we are, we walk the talk. We talk the talk.
We walk the walk.
We walk the walk.
Or
we walk the talk. Whatever. It's the same thing. Isn't that how it goes?
Sure.
We just made it up ourselves. No. Anyway, I hope that answers your question.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll get Patrina. Patrina, you're up next.
Hi.
Hi.
So I think you kind of already answered this question, but I'll just see if you have anything you want to add. So one of my questions was, how did you build your business so quickly? Because you've obviously had a huge growth in a very short amount of time.
Starting from day one, I posted my why. I didn't know really what an accountability group was. I'd never actually been in one. But I was like, I just jumped in basically and like, I'm going to pick an accountability group date to start one. And I posted my first why. I think it was in early March of 2015. And as a dude to post your why, it was pretty raw. It was pretty like I got into all the crap I've dealt with. I'm sure other people have dealt with far more, but for me, it was like intense. I was 60 pounds overweight. I had my own company and I was stressed out, had some legal stuff going on, and I'm a self-medicator with food and alcohol, always have been. And I was about I probably got up, Kim thinks I was more. I got up to about 240. Like I'm 190, 195. That's my good weight, but I was about 240. And I was just a self-medicator. And we had Colby was just born. It should have been a great time for us, but I was going through so much stress that I just wasn't happy. Like, it's the same story that everybody has. I was miserable. I was depressed. I needed something. So the P90X, I found the infomercial and I ordered that, and that was kind of the start of it. And then my first why I posted, I think I posted a really good why, and that was kind of catapulted. I had like about 5 to 7 friends and family join. I had about 5 to 7 people in my network that joined my first group. And then we made sure that first accountability group, we made sure it was like as awesome as it could be, totally interactive. We poured our heart and soul into that. And from there, it just seemed to snowball. It seemed to snowball. And we got referrals from that first group. And then our next group grew a little bit bigger and we got referrals from that. And I wasn't afraid in those groups to ask for referrals. I'm like, if you've enjoyed this experience, if you've enjoyed this, you're doing someone in your life a really good service by reaching out and asking them if they want to come in the next group with you. And we weren't really shy about that. And here's the other thing, and I'm going to keep it real for all of you because it's a disservice if I don't. I probably also came into this business, and this comment isn't about ego, it's about fact. I came in this business with probably I came in with some credibility. My brother and I had built a business before this, so we had a huge network. We built a chain of retail stores, and I used to be a high school teacher. I have a phys ed background. I've got like a master's in leadership. So, and I'm not saying that out of ego, but credibility is a huge part of this. You can build credibility through your posts, through what you do on Facebook, through how you run child groups. You need to build personal development, obviously is a massive one to build credibility. You need to build all those things, but I think I came into the business with maybe a little bit of a head start in that. And I'm a little older. I'm 43. I turned 44 this year. Oh my God. So I'm a little bit older maybe than the average coach that's starting out. And so I had a bunch of different careers. Like I was a high school teacher for 7 years. So I had this really big network of people. And I think that helped me get a quicker start too. That doesn't mean you're not going to get to a level that you're happy or that's going to get you to your dreams, but it might take a little bit longer. So I don't bullshit people on that. Like I came into this with, I think, a little bit ahead of the game of other people with a bigger network. And I have network too. Your network too. Kim has a huge network. And so like comparison, right? It's the thief of joy, right? Comparison. Kim grew up in Oakville, which is a really affluent community, and she has a ton of friends there. And so we took from both networks. So there's a lot of different factors that play into that. Do I think we did things right? Do I think like we've worked our asses off in the business? Absolutely.
Do we have some nights where we're both laying on the couch horizontal with our phones up in our head and it's probably 11:45 and we don't want to go to bed because we're engaged in conversations and we're tired? Yes. And then do we get up at 5:30 and work out and put it on Facebook? Yes. Because you have to show up. And it doesn't mean it's easy, and it doesn't mean that there aren't times where we're really tired and we just want to go to bed. But that will come. We
live in an immediate gratification world, right? Everyone wants immediate gratification. They want to be paid for what they do now. They want to, everyone wants to be happy now. We have a really good vision of where we want to be in 3 years. And we're willing to do whatever it takes right now to do that. And we're well on our way. And that's how we view the business. We're just sacrificing some of that stuff to get there. And we both agree on that as a couple. That's the other thing too, right? Like we have this couple thing too. I think there's a bit of an advantage if you're doing it alone, or maybe your spouse isn't on board. That happens a lot. That's an advantage for us too. And I think we play off each other that way too. So don't compare yourself with other people. It's not like we're running the business that much better than anyone else, but we work really hard, and maybe we started a little bit ahead of the game from maybe some other of the average coach, so to speak, if that makes sense.
That does make sense, and thank you. My other question was, how do you help people see their potential as a coach? Because one of the things I'm struggling with is there are some challengers that are already doing all the things we do, and I'm just not sure how to get them to see what I see in them.
Mm-hmm. So that's great. So do you do a lot of, following up with them and personal messages and a little bit of shout outs for all they're doing in the group?
I do. And I actually invited one girl who said she didn't think she could do it because she just didn't feel like people would follow her. I actually have her running a challenge group with me.
Good for you. So it sounds like you're already doing what you need to be doing, to be honest. I think that you need to. Do you run sneak peeks? Do you run coach sneak peeks?
Carrie and I ran one last month, which was my first, and I haven't done any since then, but I think that's what we need. I need to start doing more of that.
Be consistent in your sneak peeks. I think that's a really good opportunity. The other thing that's really important is when you're posting, you need to embed what you're doing. Bonnie Engel does a great job at talking about this, and many of the other top coaches do, but Bonnie Engel really resonates with me. Talk about the coaching opportunity all the time, because what it does is it normalizes it. And if you can normalize what you're doing, people are going to say, well, why can't I do that too? You know that those quotes that say, I get paid to work out and eat peanut butter. Like, basically, I love those quotes. I think they're funny. And I actually said it the other day to my aunt. We get paid to work out and eat peanut butter, like as a joke, because, sometimes people don't understand that what we do is way more than that, of course, but share it. People don't know what we do because we don't talk about it. And I love when Carl Deichler says, I want to make it so that people walk down that street and they are proudly saying I'm a Beachbody coach. This isn't anything to be ashamed of. So the more we can normalize it and the more you can share that in your posts daily, not daily, but whatever, if you want to do something daily, we try to incorporate the coach opportunity daily. Absolutely. One or the two of us will do a coach, talk about coach life, talk about an invite to coaching, share a success from somebody that touched us, for example. And what that does is you need to know that your challengers are watching what you're doing. They're following you on Facebook. You are going to be giving them subliminal messages on how to coach, and let them see that, oh my goodness, I really am already doing this.
Yeah, I think the greatest thing you could do for somebody in life in general, but especially in this business, is just believe in them and tell them, like, just believe in them and what they're capable of doing, because it's so hard for some people to believe in themselves, right? Mm-hmm. All they need is that spark from somebody else that they maybe look up to or respect to believe in them, and then that little mind shift starts to happen, and then you incorporate some personal development in there for them, and they start to feel that and shift it. It's like I think you constantly have to think about ways you can interact with your coaches and team and challengers, and we've got a big downline now, and it took me about 3 days to do this, but I did it while I was working because I travel a lot for work. I'm on the road for like 1, 2, 3 hours a day. I literally went through my entire downline list and sent them all a voice note. And it was a quick 30-second, 45-minute voice note saying, thank you for doing what you do. I know it's hard. I know it's tough. I appreciate what you're doing, and I believe in what you're doing. I've looked through your Facebook post, yada, yada, yada. And I mean, those little nuggets of belief in them, they go so far. So that's the advice I would give, is just believe in them. And that's kind of general advice, but it's important.
It is. I work with youth in court, and I have to say that that's the role I play for them. And I can see the difference it makes. I mean, I've been working with some youth for 2.5 years. And when you have a youth who says the only thing I can see for myself is a life of crime, and you're one of the consistent people who over time has built them up and let them see who they could be, it makes a huge difference. So of course, when you've got people who are already far ahead of that game, it makes a big difference. So thank you.
Great question.
All right, Tracy Rogers, you're up.
Tracy.
She's muted.
You're muted, Trace.
Sorry. Hey. So as a single parent, I'm finding it hard to stay organized with 3 busy teenage boys, and everything that's going on with full-time job and sports and all of that. How do you guys stay organized?
By the way, but I'm not distracting from your question, but Sean, first of all, thank you for having us on the call. We kind of jumped right into it, but anyway, I just thought thanks for having us, by the way. Really appreciate it. Sorry we skipped that. First of all, Tracy, really probably hard to answer that question because neither of us is a single parent, and I would never ever pretend to be in the situation that you're in with your 3 boys and stuff like that. That being said, I think you have to limit the amount of pressure you put on yourself, and the time that you can give this business is the time that you can give this business, and you have to be happy with that, and you have to be comfortable with the fact that you're giving what you can to it, and when you get that time, like I said, you squeeze those minutes out of it the best that you can.
Right.
And if an hour is all you can do, or 30 minutes is all you can do, that's what you're doing, because that's what your life it dictates. And let's be honest, you're trying to make life better for your family, but your family is that number one priority. That's your number one. Everything else that you can commit to the business, you're going to go 110% when you have that time, but you do what you can do with the time that you have.
Yeah. And to that point, I don't have very much to add to that, Tracy, sorry, but keep yourself really organized. I literally have a schedule in my calendar that is blocked for every minute, even down to when I have to give Tess a bath. You know what I mean? You have to schedule your time. It's sacred. Squeeze those minutes. And if you block your time, you will be more effective. So block out those workout times, block out your PD times, block out your kids' sports times, block out whatever. When you need to shower, because sometimes that's hard. I know I have 2 and Jaime goes away a lot. So on those days I need to schedule a shower. So I make sure I do that. But it's just try and have your systems in place. If you have your systems in place and your processes in place that work best for you, how you work, I think that will set you up for success.
And there's lots of top single coaches with kids that have crushed the business. So don't ever think this isn't possible for you. There's tons of them that have crushed the business. So it's completely doable. I don't want you to ever think you can't do that. What I used to do at the start when Kim was kind of working the business, but not really working the business, I would get up at this is crazy. I would get up at 4:35 because I knew I'd have an hour to 2 hours before the kids got up, alone time to do what I needed to get done. I know it's a crazy thought. It's not for everybody, but that's what I did because I knew where I wanted to go. So.
Right. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Carrie, you're up.
Hi. I hope you can hear me. I have a really terrible internet.
I can hear you.
We live on an acreage. But I have been to Oakville, so really nice community there that you're from, Kim. My question is kind of been answered. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
It's become unstable. My question kind of been answered in that you guys had mentioned that you kind of started with a bigger network, but I'm having trouble with building my network. So I am using people that have gone on my like page, inviting them for friends, and reaching out to friends of friends. Like I am doing all the things that I believe is right, but a lot of them are stalled and I don't have a lot of acceptance of those friend requests. So how do you build your network when you guys kind of start off with a good one, but how do you find that now?
So first of all, I would ask how many friends you're adding a day. You want to try to start to build your network as organically as you can. So I would be, making sure that you're doing those vital behaviors and commenting on people's posts and getting out there. And that's part of the work, right? That's part of the follow-up when you're building that organic trust. And commenting on those baby pictures and on those whatever, commenting on those. The other thing I do when I've commented on those types of pictures is I actually see the friends that comment as well that we're mutual friends with, and I'll quickly add those as friends sometimes. So it depends on what you want to do and what your strategies are. But absolutely, the more present you are on Facebook, the more present you are in engaging in conversation, the more you will be appearing. For sure, and it will gradually, for sure, but without a doubt, increase your network.
I think, and I'm not saying you do this or not, Carrie, obviously I don't know, but I think that's one of the biggest mistakes some coaches make is they don't spend a period of their time during the day going and commenting on potential challengers and coaches' Facebook stuff. I think that's something that gets overlooked by people. They get so caught up in the actual just inviting people to the opportunity. That's the groundwork, is like developing that relationship and just commenting on their stuff, nothing about Beachbody. That's really important. So I don't know if you're doing that or not, but that's definitely something that I think needs to happen as a coach.
Now building a network. I'm definitely doing it on people that already are in my network, but it was that extension of. So people I went to school with a long time ago, I'm like you, I'm in my 40s. So when I look at people that we have now in common, and they're people that I don't know, but 15 people that I used to know, I'm sending a friend request. Sometimes their profile is closed, so I can't really get in there and dig, but I do like the idea that you're saying to, if you comment on the person that's there and then seeing what the other people are commenting too, that's a good takeaway for me. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it. And even say, I love that. That's so great, to their comment. So it immediately will connect you to them as well, right? So I think spreading love is really important, and spreading joy and, being that beacon, and commenting so positively, you will get noticed. And making sure you've got a great profile picture. Making sure your Facebook's set up and it looks great and it's on point, right? And that you're there and you're consistent. So when people go check out you, if you have a public profile, which you all should have, they'll be able to see that and add you and follow you.
Yeah, your banner is important too. I don't know if you guys talk about this, but like PicMonkey's a great site, right? To make sure that represents who you are.
Yeah. And the other thing too is, if they're going to be directed back to your page, Carrie, what are they going to see about you? How are they going to know that you're a Beachbody coach or that you believe in health and wellness? And, what is that? What does your story tell you? So I would go back and audit yours as well, because as you're directing traffic to your page, you want to make sure that you're representing what you want to be promoting.
A great, we call it an auditing. Isn't that, they use that in Scientology? Anyway, a great auditing or feedback that you can get from yourself on your own Facebook page is like develop like 5 categories. I'm just thinking these off the top of my head. So I do this with my team. You categorize every post, go through your last 25 to 30 posts on Facebook and put them into one of 5 or 6 categories. One is you're a leader. One is you're a person who likes to exercise. One is your business mentor. One is your Beachbody coach. One is just your family person, mom, dad, brother, and one could be miscellaneous. You go through your last 30 posts and you punch them into all those categories, you'll get a really good picture of how people view you when they come to your page. Mm-hmm. That's a really good exercise to do because it lets you know maybe where you're lacking. You have trouble getting coaches. If you have trouble getting coaches, maybe you're not posting about the opportunity, and that little exercise is going to have you're going to get a good feel for where you're at on your page. Because remember, a lot of people come to your page, they develop a sense of what you're about. They'll kind of scroll through your first 5-6 posts, and they get a feel for what you are and what are you saying to people, right?
So I hope that helps.
Yeah, it does. Thank you. I try and fill my bucket. So it's faith, family, fitness, and food. I maybe need to add more business.
There you go. Yeah, to invite more, right? To pique that interest. That's great.
Because, yeah, the biggest issue coaches have is attracting business builders, right? That's the biggest thing people, but it's like if a potential coach is going to come to your page, you have to show them that you have the ability to lead them as sort of a business mentor. And sometimes that's tough when you're starting out or you don't have a big team, but you have to develop that sort of sense to tweak some of your posts to let them know. It's like, even you're on this call tonight, do a post about your training so you can be a better business mentor and leader. No one has to know how many coaches you have on your team, but you always have to think about what you're doing in your everyday life, even down to this call, and how you can post about it to express that you can help someone with their business, because you're doing more training now and you're helping your business grow.
And you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I really like that. Tracy S., you're up.
Woo, I made it home. I had to listen to the truck. I am so pumped to be on this.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi, how's it going?
I recognize your name.
I know, me too. I recognize you.
Hey, we just got back from camping. It was my kid's 10th birthday, so.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm late because of Chuck E. Cheese. Never went there before. Question about what did you find the easiest about being the coach?
What do we find easiest?
What was the easiest about being a coach? What did you love the most about being a coach?
Posting selfies? No,
I never did selfies till I did this.
I'm totally joking, by the way.
Okay, good, because I hate them.
I'm totally kidding. My Facebook page wouldn't indicate that. But do you want to go first, or do you want me to?
Go ahead. I'm thinking.
Okay. So I think for me, it loops back to my why, for sure. And what I love most about being a coach, or the coaching opportunity, is that A, I get to be also held really accountable. And B, I get to help and inspire others while I'm also helping and inspiring myself. I believe that you can't lead others unless you lead you first. And this journey and this business has really taught me about self-love. It's taught me about true leadership, and leading from within. So that's what I really love about this business.
Okay, awesome.
My turn.
Your turn, Jamie.
What do I love most? Wow, there's a lot of things. I think it's probably just belonging to a group of people that think and have the same values as sort of we do. We can live in it. I mean, we all, I don't watch the news, but every time I kind of get a glimpse of it. It's like we live in a pretty negative world, right? It's a pretty cynical world. People are a little jaded about what's going on. So I think I just love belonging to a community of people, you included, like jumping on calls like this. I think that's probably the best part for me, is belonging to a group of people that are open-minded and think positively and just really want better stuff for them and their family. And I think we probably take it for granted, because once you're immersed in this Beachbody world, you're around it so much. But, a lot of people don't think this way. They really don't. So that's what I love about this. It keeps me on that positive track.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. So what do you guys find the hardest about being a coach?
That's a good question.
For me anyway, probably time management is probably the hardest thing. I love doing it. Like I rarely think, oh God, I wish I could go to the movies. I really don't think that often. Like, and I love movies,
And
but
we still go to the movies.
we still go to the movies.
They just happen to be children's movies.
Yeah.
Pizza Dragon or
It's tough. Like, you know, there's times with the kids where, you know, we're probably a little less patient with them because we've got stuff to do in the business. We're honest about that. That being said, we're doing all of this that we're doing is for them. You know, it's for them. It's so, our plan is like in a year or 2 or 3 that we're both at home and we can take them to school and bring them home, and we can kind of have that real life by design with them to do anything we want with them. And so a little bit of sacrificing that now we think is worth it. But that's the biggest struggle, I think, for us, is that time management. I mean, they're still active. They're in dance, baseball, soccer. You know, we don't stop that stuff with them for the business. That's the priority. But there's probably times where, wouldn't you say, where we could be maybe, I don't know, a little bit more present with them at times.
Oh,
we struggle with that. Like it's
I struggle
real,
with
right?
that a lot.
Yeah,
it's hard. It's really hard. I've just started saying yes. When they have a question, I put my phone down and I go, and that makes me feel better. Makes me feel more present. And this like all but kills me, but I'm trying to put my phone down. From 6:30 to 8, I failed miserably our first night. I called Jaime. I'm like, okay, that's it. We're gonna close the phones off. We're gonna put them off. And it was hard, right? Because I'm driving for 2 hours a day, and I'm trying to, like, you have all these intentions, to be honest, and it's like I need 7 more hours in a day. Like I'm looking at the clock right now, knowing exactly what time. Like it's just, yeah. So that's what's hard. Time, you nailed it. It's time and being with my kids, being present.
Okay. Yeah,
hard.
That's what I find hard too sometimes. So I kind of shut the
No,
phone off this
girl.
weekend. Okay, good. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Okay, Tara.
Me?
Yep.
Okay. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hey.
Okay, I screenshot it. Okay. So when was your most successful power hour?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I know.
That's a good question. Okay, go ahead.
I know exactly what day you know what you have to know. So when I posted our call for boot camp, my sister-in-law and I ran a Tony Horton 22-minute hardcore group, and we posted a post, and I don't think we stopped, but I think, yeah, it was my highest success club for sure that month. But that was my most successful power hour, was just putting out a really intentful post. And it taught me to be very intentful with my posting, very prescriptive, and, you know, being able to respond back to those challengers and be able to totally diversify our network with a lot of new people. So that was a really, I want to say it was a pivotal power hour. I didn't expect it to be that. I think you can go through a power hour and you can return your messages and follow up in your challenge group and you can do all those types of things. But for me, the most impactful power hour was when I, with one post, we were able to attract a lot of new customers and excitement and change up our brand a little bit with something different than just 21-day fix, and just went out of our comfort zone. And that was, I think, for me, one of the most successful ones, I think. The rest of them are kind of just your normal life behaviors.
Yeah, I don't know if I can pinpoint my power hour that, I don't know, I feel like I power hour all the time, but I don't know if I can pinpoint one. Go ahead.
So when you're like in one day, when is your most successful one? Like, is it in the morning or is it in the evening? Or is it scattered?
It's all day long.
I'm not, I got to be honest with you, I am not very organized.
Neither am I, that's why I ask.
My motto is like, I just try to get shit done. Like I write it down on a piece of paper. I'm really good at writing stuff down and crossing it off and doing it. But to have an overall game plan and organization, I hate to admit this, it's not my strength. Like, I keep a lot of stuff up here. I try to, and I don't know. I know it would help me more to be more organized. That's just a skill I lack in, right?
Right.
But I'm good at getting shit done. Like I'm good at just not even like if I know I got to do stuff, it's not even in order. I tackle it, get it done, and I move on to something else that pops up that I have to do. And I just keep going until it's all done. And I kind of don't finish my day until I feel like my list is over with and done.
The thing I want to say too is as your team grows, your list will get very long because you also will have your team checking in on you, right? And asking you questions. So what you think is in your to-do list, you know, Matt, you now may have 20 extra conversations that you're having and following up with. So it's important that you do take time for you and schedule those times. So, you know, as much as we're really trying to do the 6:30 to 8, it's also a detriment. We have taught our coaches we are available 24/7. That's also not a good thing, right? If I'm being honest. So good for you for trying to find your power hour rather than having to power 24 hours, because that's not realistic either. You need a balance and you need a life, and you're entitled to that, and you can have that. You just have to figure out what's going to work best for you. But be intentful, know what you have to do. And like Jamie said, whatever is your jam for getting your stuff done, writing a list, putting it in your calendar, scheduling it. For me, it's like every hour is scheduled with what tasks I need to be doing. Does it all go to shit some days? Absolutely. But you just roll with that. Right?
Okay. Sounds good. And my second question was, what kind of things did you sacrifice to get your power hours done?
I don't watch TV. I don't play fantasy sports like I used to. Big NFL fan. I don't play pickup hockey. I play kind of softball, but I don't go to any games. They invite me, but I don't go because I made a decision when I started that I was going to spend all my extra time on this business to see where it got me. So I basically sacrifice, other than our kids' activities, I've sacrificed, Kim can speak for herself, I've sacrificed any leisure activity that I've done in the past.
Okay.
I know that sounds like it's not a very enjoyable life, but it is. Like, I love this. I know, it's gone quick. Like, we're loving this. It's great. I see where it's going. I'm confident in that. And that sacrifice to me, I don't think twice about it ever. Like going to play pickup hockey with a bunch of guys and drink beer and eat wings after. Like that doesn't compare to what we're building as a couple. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And what you guys have already built in the short time of making those, you built so much in just a little over 10 months. So really that much of a sacrifice for 10 months to where you guys are now, and how much more you guys can provide, not only for yourselves, but your family. I think that's really what the team, because I don't know if the team actually sees what you guys have done. I've seen it because I've been following you for a while, but that short-term sacrifice to go where you guys are now, it pays for itself, I think, in my eyes, right?
Yeah.
I think one thing that Jamie did really well in the beginning, when I wasn't as engaged in the coaching opportunities, he communicated with me all the time what he was doing and why he was doing it and how he was doing it. So I think that's really important with your spouse, or when you're getting your power hour done, you need to tell. We even tell our children, we need to sit down and do this message so that when we go out for dinner, we can be really present with you. Can you give me 2 minutes? And then they understand that. So you're not just saying stop. You're actually explaining to them the why. And you did a really good job at that with me. It doesn't mean that I was happy all the time that he was telling challenge facts. That doesn't mean I was happy, but I understood. And I think if you can be communicative, it's very, very important. And I think that will help your power hour a lot, Tara.
Thank you. Sorry, I put you on mute.
That's okay. No, sorry. Yeah.
Got the big one beside me, so.
Oh, look. Oh my goodness. So I know, Sean, we talk a lot, so this is a little bit longer. I'm sure it's running a little long. So
no worries. As long as you guys are okay, we only got a couple more. I don't want to.
Yeah, we want to make sure we get everybody's questions.
Yeah,
So
you bet. We don't have too many left. So,
yeah, no worries.
Cody, you are up, my man, my brother.
Perfect. How's it going?
Hey,
Good.
Cody, how are you?
Good. Thank you. So my questions, you kind of answered part of one, but with both of you already seeing the success kind of happen and how everything kind of falls into place, if you had to start over, if you could start over, what would be the first skill or behavior that you would develop? Hand up already.
Keep a better list of customers.
Better list.
Like, be adamant about keeping everybody you've been in touch with and communicated with. That's what I would have done better. Is like, so you have a huge list of, I have one, but it's sketchy. Like, I would rather, I know I don't have everyone on there that I've been in contact with. And that's just not, that's not acceptable of myself. It happened, but you know, at the start, you're just trying to, there's so many moving pieces, right? That's the one thing I would do, is have a complete list and be like diligent about keeping that list and following up all the time with that.
Mhm.
Okay. Perfect.
For you?
That's a really good one. Really understanding your back office is really important, and knowing your legs and being able to have an understanding of what the sponsorship drill down is. And I mean, now I know that very well, but for first while, that was Jamie's job until, you know, I started obviously building a team, and I've got a team too, and we both have our teams, but we are one. But that's really important. Understand the businesses and the processes. That I think that's where you need to. People I would recommend to spend time. I would certainly do that. I now do it, but I wish I had known it from the beginning. I think I probably would have been a better helper to you. And that's one thing.
Yeah.
That's a really good question, Cody. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. Just another quick one. You guys definitely drive into personal development a lot. So what is one of the biggest concepts that you got from personal development? And then how did you go about implementing it into your daily life and your power hour, your networking, that kind of stuff?
What are you thinking?
I love that.
Okay. Okay. So I have a couple things about personal development. Personal development is so my jam.
I do it every day. Kim is like, does it like way more than I do.
I have done personal development, I feel like, since I was very young, for a long, long time. I probably do. Don't get scared about this. Not that anyone needs to do this. I listen to podcasts a lot. I probably do, some days I do 2 to 3 hours of personal development. That doesn't mean that I put that 2 to 3 hours into action every time, but it means that I'm listening to that, not the radio. It means I'm listening to that, not the TV. When I get in my car, it's a podcast that goes on. My kids listen to podcasts. They love Robin Sharma and Brendan Bouchard, and we talk about joy, and we talk about all those things. So our family is embedded into personal development, which helps us be able to put that into action. Personal development is shelf help if you just listen to it and do nothing for it. So for example, you can go check out one of my posts I did today. Tess was wearing this really cool girl power shirt, and it talked about confidence. Ironically, I listened to Brooke Costello's podcast this morning on my drive that was all about confidence, and I tied the two together. So I'm tying the two together, that I'm working on me, because I'm not perfect, and I need everyone to know that, because we need to be as real as possible, right? As coaches, we need to show that we're vulnerable too, and that we are always going to be learning as well. So I think that for me, if you're going to, what's your biggest takeaway from that personal development? Do you embed that into your challenge group you're running, into that task? You do go live in your challenge group and talk about it. And then if it's not resonating with you and it's not making you stop and think, it may not be what you need. Yeah. So my other piece of advice is, find what is if you're like jealous or you're comparing, you're not saying you're doing that, Cody, hypothetically. Say that like you're comparing yourself to other people, or you're jealous, or you're feeling, that's confidence. That's self-esteem. You need to go do some work on that. So whatever's getting in your way, your biggest vice, you need to go do some work on that. And Shay Stanford said that at the Ignite in Nashville, and she hit the nail on the head. So we are all works in progress. Hold the mirror up and see what is in there that you need to get rid of and unpack, and get some personal development going. Because again, you can't lead others unless you lead you first.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think it's a couple things. I think personal development for me is because I do it consistently. I think it's almost a subconscious thing that if it kind of flows through everything you do in your life and the coaching business. I don't know if I can kind of give specific examples of how I use it, but it's more of a subconscious thing that it comes through in everything I do with the business and how I deal with challengers and my team and coaches. And then more specifically, I'll listen to something, and then I feel like I have a pretty good pulse on our team, and I feel like I'll make a post on our team page at certain times about topics that maybe I've listened to something with personal development, and I also know our team needs the message at the right time. And I try to deliver that, and I'll take the time. Like, I'll literally sit down for half an hour, and write out a post that I really think they need to hear at that time, based on personal development maybe I've heard recently and what they need. And that's how I incorporate into, I think, our business and team.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's awesome. That explains a lot. So thank you, guys.
No worries.
The other two are driving, but you've pretty much answered their question. And Eric Myers isn't part of my team, but he is my successful partner. That's why I invited him over to check this out with us. So, Eric, you got a question for them?
I'm sorry for letting me hop on here, and thank you so much for everything. So much good stuff and super easy strategy-wise. You guys said at the beginning that you invest almost everything with Beachbody back into your business. I was just curious what specifically you invest in.
Yeah, I mean,
I wouldn't say everything.
Yeah, I wouldn't say everything. I mean, we like to go out for dinner, but we write that off. So no, I mean, we've been traveling a lot. Like, we try to hit, and we're, Miguel's my upline coach, and he has a ton of events. And so we go to everything. And of course that's expensive, and that costs a lot of money. So, but we don't think twice about that. It's longer term thinking. We spend money on our coaches in the sense of, incentify with dinners and stuff like that. And we'll cover some event costs for them. What else do we put towards the biz? And advertising. I did a lot of advertising at the beginning. I don't know if it paid off as much as the amount I spent on it. But Facebook advertising was something I did at the start with some challenge packs to attract some coaches. But it's not something I necessarily like to say out loud, because I don't think that's the be all end all of your business. I really don't. I think this is still an organic business about connecting with people in your network. And I don't feel like you have to spend a ton of cash on ads and stuff like that. I certainly wouldn't say that's the cause of our quick start. But I spent a good chunk on Facebook advertising too.
Awesome. Okay, Mike, you had a quick question?
I had a couple, but one was pretty much answered. That's how you got your first customers and coaches. You pretty much just said that you've already had existing networks, and you've kind of already answered that question. But then you spoke about your why when you started your business. Was this like a video you posted on Facebook, or a little more specific about the why that you posted?
No, it was, I included it on our team training page, and I include a couple other really good whys. I mean, it's one of the first things we ask our coaches to do is craft a why. Like, your why is the reason you're doing this business. And we ask them to share. It's one of their first posts on their Facebook page. That's sort of, it has to be pretty raw. It has to be vulnerable. We always use it like, your why has to be the type of thing that when you're writing it out for people, and you're talking about your past and all the crap you've been through, because we've all been through stuff, and you talk about how these programs and has helped you get through it, and you talk about how it's brought you maybe from some of the crap you've dealt through and now you've gotten through to the other side. It's almost got to be, it's got to be vulnerable enough that when you're writing it out, it kind of makes you want to cry. And that's hard to do as a guy too, right? Because we're all, you know, society brings us up to be big, tough, and macho. We're not supposed to do that kind of stuff. But
yep.
I'm telling you, that first why I did, man, I broke down probably 3, 4, 5 times writing that out, because you just don't think about that stuff regularly. You certainly don't talk about it with people very often. So
nope.
that was something for me that was really, it's hard to do, and it was hard to click post. But you know, here's the other thing of too is, and this is another underrated skill for Beachbody coaches. And if it's a weakness of yours, or if you think it needs improvement, it's the same thing as doing personal development. It's the same thing as going and doing your certification in insanity. Go take an English course or something, like, because writing and grammar and being able to craft a post is a massive skill in this business. Massive skill. And that doesn't get talked about a lot in this business, right? Everyone talks about motivation and Success Club and selling challenge packs and using, you know, but crafting a script with spacing and the right grammar and all that stuff, that's a vital skill in this business. So I think that initial post was just, it was long. It was probably 6, 7, 8 paragraphs. I had a picture on the bottom. I think, was it a before and after picture of myself? And it just, at the end, I'm like, I want to take 5 people under my wing, and I want to help you do exactly what I've done. And I showed where I came and how I feel now. And it caught people. And, you know, I think that first month, I had a lot of Success Club points that first month, because I really believe, because of that why, it was really raw and people connected to it.
Yeah.
And that was. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, just said thank you very much.
No problem.
I really liked what you guys said about, you know, taking, you know, an English course or something like that. I don't know if you guys saw it, but when I was emceeing the Ignite event, when I was announcing the guest speaker, Vanessa, I was shaking so bad, because at that moment, that's what I realized I needed to do. I can get up on stage and I can rock an event.
Mm-hmm.
But after listening to Miguel, I was like, that's what I want to do. And it was pretty much coming down to being able to craft something like that and then deliver it, because that's what really grabs people's attention, right? My 5 minutes of winging it is no problem. But when I heard Miguel and it hit home, it's like, that's what I need to do next.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
Emotionally, it took me out of my game. I was sitting there literally shaking because I couldn't go any farther. So thank God she knew my body language and she came up and helped me. So we got one more, guys, and then we're all done. She can't talk because she has a crying baby in the background. Obviously you guys aren't shy, but if you have a shy person that's on your team, like a shy coach, how would you help them, or what would you do to get them to get out of their bubble and grow?
Personal development. That's what I would do. You can't help someone grow. They have to want to grow. So I think I would ask them what their big, hairy, audacious goals are, and I would help them set a path to get there. And I would check in with them weekly, and I would believe in them, like Jaime said, and I would make sure that they felt very, very empowered and supported. But I would get them on, Brooke Costello's amazing. She has a great podcast on confidence, on thought work. Confidence is a feeling. And, and when you create that feeling, you can be confident, whether you're shy or an introvert or an extrovert. So I think personal development will really help that. And then people believing enough in themselves. So you can believe in someone, but you can't believe in them for them.
I think shy and confident are kind of two different things, and they get lumped together sometimes. Or sorry, I should say shy and lack of confidence get lumped together sometimes. I always use Cheyenne Tracy as an example. Cheyenne is, I think she's number 29 in the company right now. She's hit over 100 Success Club points probably 5 or 6 times. She's usually around 50, 60, 70, 80. she will not, like, she's done it, but she hates being in camera on team calls and stuff. Like, she's incredibly shy, but she's confident. I speak with her a lot. Like, she's confident, but she's painfully shy. So being shy, I don't think that means anything. I don't know. Like, I'm curious.
Yeah.
I don't think that's that bad. I think you just need to take some small steps to open up. And the beautiful part about this business is you can kind of be shy and talk to people on Facebook and stuff and over Messenger. Like, that's a benefit of this business, is it doesn't always have to be face to face or voice to voice. Right?
And we have one coach, Emily, who just went diamond, and Nicole. My goodness. Yeah, we have a few of them that are so shy, and they are just blossoming. So the more, again, competence builds confidence, right? So the more competent you are, again, Jamie's point, whether you're shy or not, it doesn't mean that you aren't capable. It doesn't mean you aren't competent. It doesn't mean that you can't lead a great team. Does it get you out of your comfort zone, like Sean just said? Hell yeah. But what are you willing to do? Set your big, hairy, audacious goals, and they've got to be the ones that want to make it happen.
Perfect. I think there was a lot of great value in this call. We'll post it to the team page so you guys can share with your coaches now and your future coaches, because this will be one that we go back to quite often, I think. So thank you, Kim and Jamie. Guys, we will see them in October for the Western Regional Conference. So make sure you guys got your tickets to see Mr. Tony Horton. And of course, they are one of our main speakers. So it's going to be an incredible event. We have over 400 sold already, and we're still 2 months away. So we're doing fantastic. One of my biggest takeaways, and guys, I want you guys to post your takeaways in the group page. My biggest one, and it's what has made me successful over the last couple of years, is I'm on the same page as they are. You just get shit done at the end of the day. Just get shit done, because I'm like them. I don't have a power hour. I work it when I have the time to work it in. And at the end of the day, you got a list. Just get shit done. You can't be any more blunt than that.
Yeah. Hey, sorry, Sean. It's kind of like, you don't have to have everything figured out. No one, like, newsflash, no one does.
No.
Like, I still feel overwhelmed every day. You're not abnormal because you don't know everything and it feels all over the place. I feel like that all the time. I just go with it and move on to the next thing on my list.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sean.
No, it's perfect. And that's a great way to end it. So thanks, guys, for showing up. We'll share this with the rest of the team because we did record it. Jamie and Kim, we're going to see you in a couple of months. I'm excited.
Okay.
Awesome.
See you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for having me, Sean.
No problem. Thank you.